It was an island of slaughter. For 3 years, no one who landed there had ever come back alive. The year was 1562, along the southeastern coast of the Ming Empire. The sea breeze still carried the sting of blood and gunpowder. In Zhejiang, the people had only just been freed from the iron grip of the Woko pirates of mixed origin, Japanese Ronin, Chinese coastal bandits, and drifting outlaws who had been raiding for almost a century. Further south, in Fujian, a lone islet had become their most stubborn stronghold. At high tide, it was cut off by the sea. At low tide, a 5-mile mud flat connected it to the shore mud so deep it could trap a man to his waist. Low tide lasted no more than an hour or two. Once the waters returned, the island was sealed off again. No advance, no retreat. Every previous attack had ended in disaster. The attackers wiped out to the last man.
Just the year before, between April 27 and May 26 of 1561, General Qi Jiguang had led his 3,000 Qi family troops through 13 engagements in 30 days, from Ninghai to Changsha, winning all 13. The victory became known as the Taizhou Triumph. After that, a saying spread among the Wokou:
"Better to starve to death than set foot in Zhejiang."
But driven from Zhejiang, the pirates didn't disperse. They poured south into Fujian. Hu Zongxian, governor of Zhejiang and one of the most powerful officials in the empire, was the man who had defied the court's doubts to put Qi in command, making the Taizhou Triumph possible. In Fujian, Governor Yu Zhende could not sleep, sending an urgent memorial to the imperial court.
"Lend me Qi's army, or Fujian will fall."
The emperor's edict came swiftly.
Qi Jiguang, lead your troops to aid Fujian.
Qi took the order like a tiger unchained. He expanded his forces to 6,000, recruiting more stalwart men from Yiwu, and personally overhauled the navy to prepare for a joint land-sea strike. Hu Zongxian, reluctant to part with his treasure, sent his trusted commander Dai Chongxiao with 2,000 troops, officially as support, in truth to watch over the army and make sure it returned whole. Not long after Qi entered Fujian, 2 locals came to meet him, and from that moment the course of the campaign changed. The first was a Confucian scholar named Ye, who had heard of the Taizhou victory and came to discuss the art of war.
"Move like a hare, be still like a maiden,"
he said. Qi smiled.
"Stillness is not of the body, but of the mind. On a battlefield that changes in the blink of an eye, my heart holds only one thought: kill the enemy. No stray thoughts. That is true stillness."
From then on, the idea of a heart still as ever spread through the ranks, a steadying mantra for soldiers before battle. The second was Wang Daokun, vice-censor-in-chief of Fujian, a celebrated man of letters. Years earlier, he had been magistrate of Yiwu, home to many of Qi's troops, and felt a deep bond with them.
"I will serve as your supervising officer not for title, but to help,"
he said. Wang brought 2 priceless assets: detailed knowledge of the coastline, waterways, tides, and pirate bases, and the influence to coordinate with Ming forces at Niutian and Xinghua, so those pirate strongholds would be pinned down, unable to reinforce Hengyu. Wang laid out the grim reality. The pirates had built 3 coastal strongholds, Hengyu, Niutian, and Xinghua, mutually supporting each other. Of these, Hengyu was the most dangerous. At high tide, an island. At low tide, a waist-deep mud flat to the shore. The low tide window was pitifully short. When the tide returned, it became a death trap. The Ming had attacked many times. No one survived. People called it Death Island. Qi said simply,
"If we fight the fiercest. If we strike the hardest. Hengyu first."
Dai Chongxiao frowned.
"That's a death sentence."
Qi replied, smiling faintly.
"Then you hold the rear, I'll lead the front."
Fiery-tempered Wang Rulong stepped forward.
"Let me be the vanguard."
Qi shook his head.
"The spear point isn't about going first, it's about striking at the right time."
Instead of attacking immediately, Qi led his men into the ruins of Ningde. Soldiers saw burned homes, heard widows weep, listened to elders speak of slaughter and loss. Children clutched their fists, tears streaming down their faces. After 3 days of this, Their hearts were iron, their anger like the tide. The camp roared as one.
We came here for one thing, to kill pirates.
Night fell on the 7th day of the 8th lunar month. On the waters near Hengyu, only the tide could be heard. In the dark, the Qi family troops gathered silently at Zhejiang. 6,000 soldiers stood in the night, armor wrapped in cloth, no light, no sound. Qi moved among them in a low voice.
At dawn, the tide falls. When you hear the drum, advance.
No one slept. Every man knew, when dawn came, it would be life or death. In the pale light, the tide began to pull back. Qi raised his hand. Silence. 3 columns stepped onto the mud, each man carrying a bundle of straw to lay underfoot, building a path across the sucking muck. The mud was icy, clinging, each step like being seized by an invisible hand. In the lead, Chen Da-cheng murmured,
"Faster lay the straw. Make the road."
The war drum had not yet sounded, only the soldiers breathing, the suck of mud, and the distant sigh of the sea retreating. Halfway across, the first boom exploded. Drum beats meant advance. When they stopped, the men halted to catch their breath. 3 straw causeways stretched toward the island. The sun rose higher. On Hengyu's walls, pirates leaned and jeered.
"When the tide comes back, you'll drown where you stand."
They didn't know death was closing from behind. On the far side, Qi's navy crept in. At his signal, the Tiger Squat cannons roared. Small, mobile naval guns perfect for close coastal combat. Fireballs slammed into the pirate camp and the moored ships. Flames shot skyward. Masts snapped. Fire raced along rigging and decks. Ships exploded in chains. The defenders panicked, rushing to fight the fire, leaving the beach dangerously thin.
Charge!
3 assault teams surged ashore, deploying Qi's famed Mandarin duck formation. Shields, spears, and sabers cutting through the enemy like giant shears. Mud spattered faces, blood struck armor, steel rang on steel. The beachhead was secured, stakes in the ground, shield walls in a crescent, archers pushing back counterattacks. Qi's hand went up.
Wang Rulong now!
With a roar, the reserve poured forward along the straw causeways, smashing into the island's heart, cutting down banners, burning the main camp. Soon the tide began to return, swallowing the only link to the mainland. The island was an island again. Men could only go forward, there was no way back. Flames painted the sea red. Battle cries rose and fell like waves. Qi, drenched in sweat, pounded the great war drum for 3 hours without pause. Drum, cannon, and the clash of steel merging into one crushing force that broke enemy courage and held his own men firm. By midday, the pirate army collapsed. Some cut down, others drowned as they fled. Official records say 2,600 enemies killed, a few taken alive, 3,700 civilians freed. Qi's casualties, very light. Modern local accounts say over 300 heads taken, many more drowned or burned, 29 prisoners, over 800 civilians rescued, Qi's troops losing only 13 men. This was no fluke. It was the result of precise tide calculations, naval fire striking first, cutting off reinforcements, and securing the beachhead before the waters returned. Tide, fire, strategy, speed, all in harmony. From that day, Hengyu was no longer the pirates' death island. But before the cheers had faded, an urgent dispatch slammed onto Qi's command table. His brow furrowed, darker than the smoke of battle.
Thanks for watching. The next episode will blow your mind. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss the epic journey ahead.